Are Christians hypocrites for supporting Donald Trump?
You said something rather strong about the president, that you said it's hard to look at his actions and believe that they are the actions of somebody who believes in God. How do you square that assessment with the fact that the evangelical Christian community is so devoted to his candidacy?
Well, it's something that really frustrates me because the hypocrisy is unbelievable. Here you have somebody who not only acts in a way that is not consistent with anything that I hear in Scripture or in church, where it's about lifting up the least among us and taking care of strangers, which is another word for immigrants, and making sure that you're focusing your effort on the poor, but also personally how you're supposed to conduct yourself. Not chest-thumping, look-at-meism, but humbling yourself before others.
As an evangelical Christian who wasn't on board with Trump in 2016, I get what Pete Buttigieg and these Democrats are saying. However, after seeing how Trump has governed as president, I think they're wrong. Yes, character matters. But when voting for a president, we have to weigh all the relevant factors. That's the case whether you're Christian or not. What Trump does as president, like his policies and his appointments, is so much more significant. And to be honest, he's been more truthful about keeping his campaign promises than many previous presidents. Aside from President Trump's wins politically and economically, here's what he's done for evangelical voters specifically. Firstly, he chose Mike Pence, a strong evangelical Christian, as his VP. President Trump has chosen many other Protestants and Catholics to his administration. He's come through on his pro-life promises. In his first week of office, he signed an executive order banning American taxpayer dollars from funding abortions overseas. He's the first sitting president to address the annual March for Life.
Under my administration, we will always defend the very first right in the Declaration of Independence, and that is the right to life.
He just announced new pro-life rules protecting health care providers from being forced to do abortions. President Trump moved the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem, demonstrating his commitment to standing with Jewish Americans. He's protected persecuted religious minorities around the globe. He's helped to release Christian Americans wrongfully imprisoned in countries like North Korea. He's reversed Obama's draconian transgender bathroom policy in public schools. He's confirmed 2 Supreme Court justices and over 100 federal judges, conservative judges who will uphold the Constitution and protect religious freedom for decades to come. He's addressed the Values Voter Summit multiple times and chosen to align with conservative Christians, fighting the most heated culture wars. He's invited evangelical leaders into his inner circle. Pastor James Robertson, who previously ministered to Ronald Reagan, has praised Trump, saying this.
And he shows an unbelievable admiration of the Jesus that he sees in other serious Christians. And you can see it. I mean, he absolutely admires Christ in others. And you know, Jesus said, if they receive you, to his disciples, they receive me. And I made the statement that no one has ever received me in any leadership role more openly, more fully and freely than did Donald Trump.
He's openly acknowledged the Judeo-Christian God and welcomed the Almighty in the public square. It's okay to be a Christian again. Just recently, he spoke at the National Day of Prayer, celebrating the power of prayer. As you can see, it's infinitely more important for Donald Trump to be a good president, even with moral flaws, than it is for him to be a nice guy who can't get the job done. Conservative Christians took a chance on Trump, and they turned out to be right. For evangelical voters, there are now more reasons to vote for Trump in 2020 than there were in 2016. We now have a record of what he's done, and it's impressive. And when the alternative is the Democratic Party, which wants to restrict freedom of speech and religion, Trump is clearly the smart choice. I can only imagine we will be today if Hillary had won the presidency. Trust me, it wouldn't look this good. And a note about Trump's character. Trump's not holding himself up as the paragon of Christian virtue. He's admitted to some of his past failings, which happened years before he ran for president. The real reason Democrats have made such a fuss about Trump's character is because they don't like the fact that he's aligned himself with conservative Christians. It drives them nuts, which makes me more appreciative of the fact that Trump has unashamedly stood with us. They never seemed to have a problem with his character when he was one of them in Hollywood, right? Their accusation of hypocrisy is merely a ploy to shame Christians into not voting for Donald Trump in 2020. Well, it's not going to work for me. Christian Trump supporters understand the times and seasons we're in. We are faced with two opposing visions for the soul of America. On the one hand, we have the Republican Party, which wants to preserve America's conservative Christian founding. And on the other hand, we have the Democratic Party, which wants to destroy America as we know it, and any vestige of the Judeo-Christian faith, and recreate her in its own utopian socialist image. I'm not willing to abandon my Christian principles by allowing the Democratic Party to do that. I'm not a hypocrite for supporting Donald Trump. No, I take my faith seriously. And that's why, as a Christian, I'll be voting for Trump in 2020.